Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
And welcome everyone to this week's edition of Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino in Baton Rouge. Ronnie Rance alongside my guest today, Mr. Buzzy Heidel, 2009 national champion and also part-time voice of the LSU Tigers. He was at the regionals, called all two of the games that LSU played in the Super Regional. What's up, Buzz? How are you, buddy?
Good to be here. Tough weekend, but yeah, good to be here. And gonna be a long summer for the Tiger fans. It's tough to watch the College World Series in Omaha when LSU's not represented, but the SEC sure did themselves proud by having 4 teams in the tournament.
4 teams, and I think most people would be pretty shocked around the country to think that LSU's not one of the 4 when a week ago they found out they were hosting the Super Regional.
Yeah.
And prior to this weekend, they were 8-2 and advancing to the Omaha when they were hosting the Super Regional. Now 8-3, and oh, by the way, they've lost 3 of their last 6 Super Regionals. I think they're 3-3 in their last Super Regionals going back to 2012.
Oh yeah, they lost 2012 and they lost 2016, and now they lost 2019. Oh, by the way, all in their home ballpark too. But
3-3 in their last 6 Super Regionals.
Yeah,
That's a little surprising.
Tough, but as you said, SEC did the SEC proud. I predicted before the Super Regionals ended that I thought they'd get 3 in. I thought Auburn. I didn't think Auburn would get out of the North Carolina Regional, which that was a crazy first inning. They hung 13 in the first in that North Carolina Super Regional, and then I thought Mississippi State or LSU would lose. Okay, and obviously LSU did, but Auburn's the one who kicked. Who was the surprise there, and of course Vanderbilt won, and then you knew with Ole Miss or Arkansas, one of those was obviously going to come out of it, and Arkansas took it to Ole Miss yesterday, or on Monday. So, it'll be a fun World Series, just not as fun if LSU is in it.
A lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. The Tigers, of course, win 2 out of 3 at Mississippi State. They beat Auburn 3 out of 4, I believe, something like that. The 2 out of 3 here, and then they beat them over in Hoover. And of course, they did take 1 of 3 against Arkansas up there. That was the dramatic Duplantis homer in the bottom of the 8th, which really, in my mind, turned the season around for LSU and put them on the right track the last month of the year. And of course, LSU and Vandy only played in Hoover, but so much to kind of digest in this Super Regional. I think there's a disappointment for LSU right now that probably, I don't know if even it was this bad against Coastal Carolina, probably more like Stony Brook, because that was just such a shocking deal. But the thing that hurts about this year's team is they were preseason number 1 in 2 of the 5 polls and number 2 in the other 3 polls. And anytime you're ranked 1st or 2nd in the country, you're returning 4 Hess, Cabrera, Watson, Duplantis, 4 Team USA players from a year ago.
Right.
You have the number 1 recruiting class in America. And that may not mean as much in football as it does in baseball. Number 1 recruiting class in America means you got dudes that are helping you right now. Sometimes in football, you got to wait 2 years before it shows up. So that's where the disappointment lies. We can talk about the season and the injuries and all the things, and where, man, it's amazing that they got to where they were now and all that stuff. But the bottom line was the expectation. Paul Mainieri said it himself. He didn't shy away from it at all, which sometimes he does. Sometimes he downplays his teams.
Right.
But going into this year, he said it's all about getting to Omaha.
Well, it felt a lot like 2017 when they lost in that Super Regional to Coastal Carolina in 16. They come back. They've got all these guys coming back, right? Kramer Robertson, Cole Freeman. You got Poche. You got Lang. You knew what you had. You had a good veteran core of guys. You're going to have a good lineup. Dykeman with some power. And they did what you expected LSU to do. They came up a couple games short there in the finals against Florida, but they lived up to expectations. When throughout a few times during the year, which that's baseball. You're always going to have where you don't play particularly well, maybe for a weekend or so. But that they lived up to the expectations in 17, and that's why this one's hard to swallow a little bit because of all the veteran leadership, what you had coming back. But really, what was tough was it was the starting pitching. You were counting on so many young guys, so many freshmen. And not only do you count on those guys, but once they started having arm, whether you call it injury, fatigue, whatever, they started having arm issues. And so you never had anybody that you really could give the ball to. And what I thought the difference was in this Florida State Super Regional was that they had two guys that they knew who they were going to give the ball to in the first two games. Parrish and Van Eyck for Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, even though, and again, we thought Cole Henry was back healthy again after we saw the regional game against Southern Miss, throwing the ball 96 miles an hour, was dominant. Of course, he starts the game, the first game against Florida State, and has to come out after 2 innings. Something's wrong in his arm. But all year, you never felt like you had a guy who you could give it to. We tried to make it Hess. He struggled in the starting role. Marceau showed signs of it. Henry showed signs of it. But Florida State had two guys that you knew Mike Martin knew he was going to give the ball to, and he was going to give them quality starts. He was going to give them 5, 6, 7 innings. Van Eyck was incredible on Sunday, throwing the ball got up to 98 miles an hour. Parrish wasn't as dominant in the first game, but he did everything you needed him to do. He stayed away from the big inning from LSU. They got a run in the bottom of the second, third, fourth, and fifth. But that was really it. They couldn't put that big inning together, and that was some of their own LSU kind of some of their own doing with some base running mistakes. But again, you talked about disappointing because the number 1 seed. Another thing that was disappointing was Florida State was not. I didn't think they were better than LSU. I really didn't. I thought they had a couple areas that they were better at, starting pitching, a few guys. But other than that, I thought our bullpen was better. I still think 1 through 9 our lineup's better, even though we do have some holes as well. They had a couple big boppers in the lineup with Mendoza. Albert had a big game on Saturday, but this team was not better than LSU, and that's not a knock on Florida State. And coming into Alex Box Stadium, you'd have thought LSU had the clear advantage, and they just made too many mistakes, and that was the difference.
The new box is not the old box.
You're right about that.
And it just is. And I'm not saying that from an old player perspective, beating my chest. I'm just saying it's just fact. It's not as intimidating. It's not as tough a place to play. It's still the mecca of college baseball, but it's too nice, right?
Yeah.
It's too friendly.
They're a little too comfortable in the seats.
Right? I mean, the fans, the players are coming in, and the LSU fans are high-fiving the opponent, and they're hugging them, and it's just a little too kumbaya. It needs to be a little more ugly.
I will say you would be proud. Okay, the game ended. Fans got out.
Okay, they didn't take a victory lap.
Didn't sit around to give Florida State
the.
And I'll tell you, it felt a little. And give Mike Martin credit. I think he's not been around 40 years because he doesn't know what he's doing. He played up the whole. Golly, this is the best. The fans. I mean, the best.
Right.
And he played it up so much, he almost had LSU on his side.
Yeah, he took a little of the steam out of it, of the hatred or the vitriol for the enemy.
Absolutely.
He made everybody feel a little comfortable with losing.
They're stopping, the bus is stopping. You got fans taking the selfies with him, taking pictures, shaking his hands. And he was so, and again, he's a smart man. Look,
absolutely.
He was playing that up a little bit like, we don't really deserve to be in this great ballpark. Look how everything is.
Yeah.
My 40 years, I've never seen anything like.
Right.
And it seemed a little bit like LSU was like, well, Mike Martin's a pretty good guy.
If we're going to lose,
he's the guy.
He'd be the guy to lose to.
So, and I read an article on that where everyone, it seemed like they were on. Look how good Mike Martin is, and man, Coach Paul Maneri, we've got some things to do. It's like, well, Paul's got a national championship.
Right.
Mike doesn't. You want a coach here for 40 years and not win a national championship, or do you want a Mike Martin who gets to Omaha every other year? It seems like every year, but just can't punch his ticket. So I read an article on that this morning. I thought was quite
17 trips to Omaha now in 40 years. So basically every other year Florida State goes, and they've never won one. And I agree with you. Do you want to be Mike Bianco?
Yeah.
Not that Mike's going, but I mean, like at the end of the day, would you rather have the one? Would you rather be Les Miles and have the one?
Yeah, and a runner-up, which I know runners-up.
Or would you rather be the 25-year head coach, but you don't get the one? I mean, I think most fans would trade a lot for a championship. It's like the Saints, right? I mean, do you want to be Jim Mora or do you want to be Sean Payton? In the sense that you want to, for 10 years, win your division, go to the playoffs, do those, and be really good every year, or do you rather have an up and down and up and down, but you got a Super Bowl in there?
The last 3 years, the team that's eliminated LSU out of the NCAA tournament has won the national championship. Coastal Carolina in 16, Florida in 17. They beat them in the championship. Oregon State last year in the regional. See if we'll make it 4 years in a row and Mike Martin get his first one. I don't think so. I don't think they're that talented, but boy, what a story it would be.
But,
You never know, right?
There's no doubt we're pulling for him. There's
Yeah.
no doubt everybody's pulling for him. He's going to be the beloved over there. He is. Is he on the Mount Rushmore? That's tough. It's tough to not win a national championship and be on the Mount Rushmore of college baseball. I think Augie Garrido and Skip are on the Mount Rushmore. Rod Dedeaux has to be on there, the old USC coach. They won 5 national championships in a row in the early 70s. So those 3 guys are on the Mount Rushmore. Who's the 4th? That's the question. Mike Martin's the only coach that has over 2,000 victories. He's the all-time winningest coach.
In any NCAA sport.
In anything, in everything,
Yeah.
right? He's the winningest. But do you put him up there, or is there somebody else? Ron Frazier, at Miami. I think Mike Martin. I really do. I think at the end of the day, if you're trying to find that 4th name to put up there, Cliff Gustafson at Texas, would have been a guy that's a possibility. It's an interesting.
Well, I think
Brock, a longtime coach at Arizona State in the 70s.
Everyone
80s,
always
90s.
says Skip Bertman, what he did was, it can't ever be done. And Skip Bertman's incredible. Again, I'll say this: it's hard, but that just goes to show you how hard it still was, even in the 90s.
Ron Polk never won a national championship.
Mike Martin has been there for 40 years. So you're talking about all, the 80s, the 90s. He had his chances, right, to win. And for him to never win one just kind of, I think, puts a little icing on the cake of what Skip really did was incredible.
Right. That's why when Skip and Mike Martin, the head coach at Florida State, saw each other in the dugout before the game on Sunday, Mike Martin gave him a hug and actually genuflected. And,
trying to rub him, right?
Literally genuflected and kind of bowed down to him, because, he is the man. 5 national championships and only 800 and something wins, and Mike Martin's got over 2,000 wins and doesn't have any. And it just shows you how hard it is. And that's why, Skip's the best, Augie Garrido. In my mind, Skip and Augie are the best, not to take away from anything that Rod Dedeaux did, because he was amazing, but it just was a small sample size. It's like saying it's like in travel ball going to Sulphur and winning the world championship, and they're 8 teams and 6 of them are from Louisiana.
Against Moss Bluff, Ville Platte. And
and so, that's kind of how USC did it. There was not a lot of emphasis on college baseball, the big programs. But anyway, unbelievable. We'll be pulling for Florida State, no doubt about it. And just so you know, Eddie Perez, Eduardo Perez, who was on the call of the game, one of the analysts for ESPN, there's a Baton Rouge tie, right? He was one of the initial investors in Marucci and played a big role in helping get Marucci's business off the ground when they first started. He was a guy that had a lot of contacts, helping get major leaguers to swing Marucci bats. So, that a little extra, gravy on your meat right there to pull for the Seminoles.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't he play at Florida State as well?
Yeah, he played at Florida State. He and Jack Marucci are, tight.
Right.
That's how that whole happened. Jack Marucci, the head trainer at LSU, used to be the assistant trainer at Florida State. So that was the connection there. All right, we'll take a time out. When we come back on Sports Shorts presented by LeBears, we'll continue our conversation with Buzzy Heidel about the LSU Tiger Super Regional. We'll get into some things that happened over the weekend. I know folks have some thoughts and questions. Plus, where do they go from here? What's next? For the off season, and where does LSU baseball go from here? That conversation will happen next. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter, and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your Vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Shorts. The Buzzman here with us. He, of course, played for Pulmonary, been calling a lot of the games on the radio. He and Doug Thompson kind of switch off on the broadcast with Chris Blair, and got a chance to call you first Super Regional.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Was.
You know, I didn't get it. Obviously, I was not there on Saturday or Sunday. I was up at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in Natchitoches. We had our events on Saturday, but on Sunday, I got a chance to watch every pitch. You know, it was really a great game. I talked to some friends, mutual friends of ours in Miami who watched the game, and you know, they said, look, I mean, obviously they were pulling for LSU like we all were, but they, you know, they said it's a great game. I mean, it's a 12-inning game. It was, you know, there's a lot of things on the line, great pitching by both teams. But that was a game old Jim Moore would have said woulda, coulda, shoulda for LSU. I mean, they out-hit Florida State in Game 2 of the Super Regional 12-10. They had as good a relief outing as LSU baseball maybe has ever had in the history of the program. You're talking about 10 innings coming out of that bullpen and only giving up 4 hits or something like that. It was just amazing, and you lose. I mean, that's the one that's hard to swallow. But also, I say this, there's a lot of little things, and we can talk about that. But I tip my cap to Florida State. It doesn't matter. I know you thought, well, LSU I think is better than Florida State, blah, blah. They came into Baton Rouge, swept LSU, and beat them when LSU played its best, as far as on the mound at least.
Right.
They played its best. So to that to be commended. But let's get to Sunday's game, which you called.
Yeah, I thought LSU. There's sometimes when they come in here and you're like, man, this team's kind of scary. Oklahoma when they came in, I forgot what year that was, but Gray was their start pitch.
100.
Yeah, they had some guys. Even 2009 we had Rice come in here. Rice was a really good team there. They had just been to Omaha the year before. When it's not to discredit Florida State. I just thought LSU had an advantage, a clear advantage in this stadium, the whole deal. But you're right. Florida State stuck with their game plan too. And what I was impressed with Florida State was, another factor was Florida State doesn't run. They don't steal at all. They just draw walks, and they've got some guys that hit some homers. But I know Florida, in Tallahassee, their ballpark is hitter friendly. So I said, well, maybe the homer won't play here, but they were very station to station. Now, one thing they did do, and that they didn't get away from their game plan, was they took a lot of pitches. And they had a lot of strikeouts, too, within a couple games, but they took a lot of pitches. On that first game on Saturday, they drew 10 walks, okay? And they made LSU the pitchers work for everything that they got. And there was a lot of 3-2 counts, a lot of stuff like that, and they drew walks. But They just kept playing their game, and they made bigger plays in crucial moments. And one of those moments was Sunday when the catcher picked off DiGiacomo at third in a crucial situation. Another play by Watson, which, as Paul Mainieri, and I agree with him, Paul Mainieri said that was a hustle play. You can kind of live with that from Watson as he was trying to take the extra base. DiGiacomo, he'll learn from. That was a freshman mistake, and you just can't be that aggressive with a team that's what they do. They pick you off. If you look at the stats throughout the year, they pick guys off, and it was tough to watch from that standpoint, Ronnie, because they had chances to win this game, but when Florida State, they knew they were going to have the last at bat going into extra innings, you just didn't feel good about it the whole time when we couldn't put up a run.
And again, a one-run game that goes 12 innings, everything's magnified, and LSU, the Giacomo getting picked off at third, it's unacceptable. He's a freshman; he'll learn from it. Yada yada yada. But and the but is that that was the 12th time this year that Florida State had picked off a base runner. 12 times. That's an extremely high number. I'm sure LSU knew that going into the Super Regional. They had that in the scouting report. Why that's not maybe it was emphasized. Maybe the guy had his headphones in and wasn't paying attention. But that should have been emphasized all week long. There should have been a yellow card in front of their face to remind them when they get to third. But all year long, Florida State's been picking off runners as a staff. You've got to know that. You've got to talk about it. You got to, safety on your leads and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is it was an unfortunate play, but a big one. The Cade Beloso, throws home to the plate to make the double play, and Garza drops the ball. And there was a couple things in that play. If you notice, hey Garza, it's not a forced play, so get your foot off the middle of the plate. Right. Get it out in front. So where you can kind of catch it and block. Granted, we know the rules, but if you've got possession of the ball, they're not going to call you for blocking. Right. Okay, so take that extra 2 feet, get out in front, and then of course catch it. And as you're catching the ball, slide and with two hands into the runner. Instead of just slinging it. So that was a technique play. That's just attention to detail technique. I'm sure he was coached up, but for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. So those two big plays right there were huge. Yeah. Okay. And then there were some questionable calls that I think, from a sports talk radio standpoint, these are the easy ones to look at. And that is the decision at the end of the game that Coach Mainieri chose to pitch to Florida State's, on paper, their best player. Yeah. And generally, rule of thumb is you don't want to get beat by somebody's best player. If you want to get beat, you want to get beat by Buzzy Heidel, not Blake Dean. Right? I mean, it's just flat out. That's how it is. And LSU, with a base open and 2 outs in the bottom of the 12th, elected to throw to Florida State's best player. That'd be like, and listen, and the next guy on deck is hitting 340, but I'll give you the equivalency. All right? In 1993, when LSU baseball won a national championship, you walk Todd Walker to face Rush Johnson. Anybody else, right? Rush Johnson was the SEC Player of the Year in 1994, by the way. That's a great player, played in the major leagues. And I'm sure Russ would have taken offense and probably gotten the hit. Right. But the point is that Todd Walker was the best player, and no matter who is behind him, you should walk him with the base open. And it's the same scenario here. It doesn't matter that the guy on deck's really good too. You've identified that guy as the best player. We are not going to let him beat us. And, oh, by the way, Buzz, no matter who's batting, you walk the guy because it gives you a force at every bag. So that's, so that was the part that's tough because what might have happened with the next guy? Because even if you pitch the 340 hitter tight and you walk him, you still got the bases loaded. So, those interesting decisions. Yeah,
there are a few decisions there. You know this, Ronnie. I know this. I played for Coach. We've watched it for 10 years now. Sometimes there's when there's just a gut feeling, right? Or I've seen it so many times. I've been in coaching for 37 years, and I think it needs to be done this way. And maybe a little different than maybe a Skip who'd say, who may say, well, that's the percentages tell me to do this and not do this. I heard this from somebody too, and I thought it was a good point. It wasn't like the pitcher was on deck, okay? And you alluded to that. The guy's hitting 340, 350. He was a freshman. But more than anything, before the game, right, I mean, there was only a couple guys in that lineup that could beat you. Mendoza was the main one. I mean, on all the scouting reports, purest hitter, best hitter, 16 home runs, hitting well over 300. That's the guy you circle and you say, okay, we're not going to let him beat us. When it got to the point where his run didn't matter because the winning run was on second anyway, I do think it it would have behooved LSU to have a force at every bag. You know, that you can knock a ball down up the middle and just flip the second. You can, knock a ball down in a 6-hole and Reed's covering third, and now you don't have to throw it all the way across the diamond. You just flip the third. There was a lot more options. And so I think, look, if Coach had it to do over again, I mean, it's an easy decision now because Mendoza got the hit, but they got him the 2 strikes. I think they either went slider or changeup to Mendoza.
They went off speed. They went off speed, and that was another decision where I'm like, he didn't catch up to the fastball on the first couple pitches, and then we go off speed. So you could even question pitch select. You could do that all game. Don't get me wrong. Anytime somebody gets a hit, you should have threw something different. But a couple decisions there, and again, if Coach had it to do over again with the results, knowing the results, he obviously would have walked him, but he got him to 2 strikes. I think if he executes the pitch or maybe even a different pitch call, I think we may still be playing. Well, here's what we do know that happened. We know that the best player on Florida State's team beat you.
Yeah.
And we know that as an LSU staff, you didn't throw your best pitch. Fontenot 2-seam fastball in on a right-handed hitter is
right.
The best pitch that he can throw. And you lost the game on not your best pitch against the team's best hitter. That right there is all you need to know. That shouldn't happen. The other thing is if you want to throw off-speed 2-2 with a base open, I mean, we're burying that sucker.
Well, then maybe it was supposed to be buried.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We don't know. I wasn't
so.
listening in the hearset or whatever. The walkie-talkie. No, they can't do the walkie-talkie in NCAA.
No, but you should listen more instead of watching on TV. You should listen to radio more.
If I'd have known, if I'd have got the text that you were doing the game, I'd have pulled up the app in Natchitoches.
Well, and that's the beauty about baseball, Ronnie. I mean, we can talk about these things. And when the game's going on, look, coaches make a lot of money to make these tough decisions, right? And Coach has been around a long time, 37 years. He's seen a lot. You can make decisions to put your team in a better position, but at the end of the day, DiGiacomo's got to be better. DiGiacomo can't get picked off. Watson's got to play aggressive, but then see and maybe retreat back to first base.
Read the throw, get back.
Fontenot's got to bury the breaking pitch or the curveball, the changeup, and he's with 2-2, and maybe you need to
have better technique at home plate.
Garza's got to not miss a ball to allow him to get to second. That's another thing that happened. He literally just missed a fastball.
Well, they confused.
Just up a little bit.
It wasn't. They got the signals wrong. He just straight missed it.
He just missed the fastball.
It had a lot of movement.
A foot
and
up.
Missed it.
Yeah, and it got past him, and it was able. Salvatore, the leadoff hitter, was able to get to get to second base in scoring position. And so, little things like that. You said it. 1-run games, super regional games, games that decide your season whether you're going to keep playing or not keep playing. Those things matter, and LSU didn't do it, and Florida State did. Because, look, Florida State made a couple errors, too. The little second baseman made an error in the first game. I mean, they weren't perfect, but they certainly made the plays when they needed to, throughout the
kid who hit the home run on Saturday and struck out 5 times for Florida State on Sunday.
Albert.
Okay, Albert.
By the way,
bomb.
One of the first.
Oh, my God.
I've seen a lot of home runs
on Saturday.
And particularly with the way the bats have changed and all that. The ball was hit so far. Chris Blair, and I can't think of the guy. I think his name's Hart, that did the game for ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
They had a conversation before the Sunday game, and they both said, like,
lost the ball.
I never saw it.
Right.
A lot of things happened. Duplantis literally never made a step. That was one thing. So everybody's like, oh, I guess that ball's just hit out of play. Well, it was hit out of play.
He just was standing there and,
wow. The thing about it, to use a major league reference, and I said this on the broadcast, and I don't know if anybody picked up on it. I said, I didn't know that it was just hit so high. It was too high. It was just so high. I didn't know that it would go that far.
Hit
I guess
the roof.
It was right. It was one of the, that was the game you wish they could have won, because Vittmeyer would have had the you-know-what ball in his locker.
Right.
The ball that's just torn to pieces.
Right.
That's called the you-know-what ball.
Oh, crap ball.
Ball. That's right.
But, I mean, like, it was – that was – if that had been an LSU player, that would be immediately that ball would be in the Hall of Fame, and they would have taken your bat
probably
and ball
right next
out.
to mine.
Well, they might have taken it out.
Okay,
there's not enough room. Some museums only got so much room.
Right.
The 08 last hit bat ball at the box might have come out.
Last homer
at the box might have come out on that one, because it was a bomb.
Yeah.
And if it had been an LSU player, that's legendary.
Sure.
That's lore.
That's
I
right.
mean. Wow, Moose! I don't know. Musso's got season tickets down the right field line. Are you down the right field line, Musso? With your season ticket,
third base line. Third base line.
Your third base line.
Line.
Okay, so but I mean, if I just wish I would have been there to see exactly how far. And by the way, the pimp job that he did at home plate was epic as well.
It was good.
But it was great. I thought LSU was going to win the game on Sunday when I was watching it on ESPN and Natchitoches because of this. LSU fans were all over Albert in right field. And at one point in time early on in that game in the first, second inning when he made a diving catch and it was a stumble catch, he accidentally fell over and caught it, and he was getting made fun of, or they were giving him a hard time. They were ragging him in right field, which you should, by the way, fans.
Yeah.
He was like pointing at him, like, come here, and da-da-da-da, and yelled some profanities and all. And I thought, all right, great. They're in his head. This is perfect.
He's going to miss someone.
LSU's going to win this game. Well, he did. He went 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. They just needed to bring a few friends down with him, too.
The game of baseball is very humbling, right? I mean, as high as he was on Saturday.
2 homers.
Literally, what is 5? 4 is the sombrero. Is 5 the golden sombrero? Is that what it go?
Yeah.
3's the hat trick. 4's the sombrero.
No, I thought 4 was the golden.
Right. So 5's the platinum sombrero.
5's the you need to just sit down. Just sit down and be quiet.
We'll put somebody. Thanks for yesterday. We'll put somebody else in there today.
All right, Buzzy Heidel, 2009 national champion. Another year, Buzz. That 09 championship just keeps getting more valuable.
It does.
Just gets more and more
it's
valuable.
Time, though. Look, I mean, after the first few years, you're like, okay, I still want to be the guy for a little
10
while.
years is too long.
They already forgot about you anyway, so you might as well have another one.
10 years is too long at LSU. All right, we'll take a timeout. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears. We'll be back when we come back. Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. That's coming up next.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino. Thanks to the Buzzman, Buzzy Heidel, who joined us. He was on the radio call this past weekend as LSU's season came to an end. No doubt I'll be pulling for Florida State Seminoles. If you go by the Jacob Hester formula or belief that you'd never pull for an SEC team to win the national title, then pick a team, pull for Florida State. Head coach Mike Martin, and he's a class act, known him a long time, and it still hurts that LSU lost, but if they're going to lose to somebody in his final year of coaching, I don't mind it being him. And, oh, by the way, for the record, he goes out in his career as a winner against LSU. He's won more than he's lost against the Tigers. Not many coaches can say that. Well, this past weekend was the 60th annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend. It was a huge weekend up in Alexandria and Natchitoches. If you didn't get a chance to watch all the special coverage from the welcome reception to the red carpet arrival show to the induction banquet, all of that was carried by our good friends over at Cox Sports Television. You can check out CST all summer long. Our next time they'll have a replay of the induction banquet will be June 16th at 7 p.m. That's June 16th at 7 p.m., so check it out. Also, look for a bunch of replays during the summer and a special 1-hour edition Hall of Fame induction weekend recap special, which we're putting together right now. We'll have for you next week. But in case you didn't get a chance to be up in Natchitoches and go to Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend where we had 8 events in 3 days, we wanted to give you a little behind-the-scenes kind of taste of what happened up there. And we've got some videos that we'll play for you here on Sports Shorts over the next few minutes. The first, we started things off last Thursday, June the 6th, with our Hall of Fame press conference, which we carried live on CST from 3 to 5. And then afterwards, we had our welcome reception at the museum. This is a chance for the public to see a lot of the new displays honoring the 2019 Hall of Famers for the first time. So let's take a peek at our La Capital Federal Credit Union welcome reception.
Hello, everyone. Well, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend is here. Hi, I'm Carly McCord, and we are at the first event kicking off the weekend live inside the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Museum. Lots of things going on this weekend, but let's go ahead and start with this one. Come with me.
There's so many great athletes and coaches and teachers, and this is such a representation of excellence. I'm glad, very fortunate to be mentioned in the same breath as this class.
I am so proud to be with La Capital. I am so proud that they have taken the time and the effort to support the Sports Hall of Fame. Yes, it is here in Natchitoches, but it affects the entire state. La Capital affects the entire state. We are there, we are partnered. It's been amazing.
I didn't imagine that I would be, an inductee of the 2019 class into the Hall of Fame of Louisiana, but it's super exciting. You work and you enjoy the things that you do, become passionate about what I've found in volleyball, and then, you get the recognition or reward as a consequence, but you do it because you love it.
I'm so proud. I always say there's something in the ground in Louisiana that grows so much talent, and the great example is here tonight. But so much more than just what they do on the field. Their love and passion for Louisiana is incredible acts of kindness. So it's not just the great athletes and the great champions here. Other states may have a museum and they have trouble finding people to put in it. There's no shortage of talent here in Louisiana.
It's been a fantastic experience. We've been doing this for multiple years, probably 14, 15 years. And just an opportunity to give back to the community, an opportunity to give back to the state, and to support some people that are actually heroes to young people, to young kids in the community, and just to be a part of that has been a great thing for us.
I took my staycation here, and my mother-in-law spent 3 hours in that hardware store. So you staycation in Louisiana, you come to Natchitoches, you'll have a great time, you'll meet great people, you'll tell your friends, and that's what drives Louisiana tourism. It's our people, the love and passion they have for their city, their town, and that is so obvious here in Natchitoches.
I enjoy a building where it's donated to sports, and this is a special, special place. I'd encourage anybody to spend an afternoon going through this wonderful Hall of Fame.
Well, the cool thing about that video was you saw in there a little bit of some of the pictures that artist Chris Brown has done. We have an official artist at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. His name is Chris Brown. He used to play baseball at Northwestern State for the Demons. He now lives in East Texas, and he's a teacher of art in school, as well as has his own little mini gallery. He's been only the third Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame official artist in the last 60 years. And each year he makes a custom piece that hangs in the museum that just encapsulates a little bit of each Hall of Famer's life and career after many conversations with them and that sort of thing. So here's a little behind the scenes look at the artist Chris Brown interacting with the Hall of Famers.
I'm Chris Brown. I'm the artist for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. I've been the artist since 2009, and so I've been doing this for 10 or 11 years, and many, many portraits. So most of the time in collecting images, I'll ask the inductee if they have any favorite images of moments that they want to put in, anything that they would like to have represented. You can't just necessarily find two great images and have them, they're not just going to always work together. So you have to kind of piece them together to make one whole great image.
Cool too, because I appreciate what y'all do so much, because I got zero time to do that. Yeah, you put in the time.
So you pick up a pencil and you spend that same amount of time with it, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. No. No. Good try.
Well,
Good try, though. I know my skills.
That's what I tell everybody.
It's not going to happen.
There's always a wide range of sports represented. We never really focus on just one sport, and so when you've got a 5-time Olympian, I mean, that's so unique, a rodeo star, and so I get to do a horse, and I love doing horses, being a former horse owner myself.
All my kids rodeo.
Yeah, were they as good as you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're better than me.
I doubt that. You're pretty good.
No.
I think people are drawn to sports art just because of the sheer emotion of it, and that it represents something that they've loved typically their entire life.
Well, that's a much better picture, by the way. Thank you. Those other ones, I'm sitting there going, oh Lord, I like that one. That's what,
this is the one that matters the most.
Yeah, you spent the time on it. Thank you. Thank you. That is a great, that right there, you got that perfect. Because there was a bunch of emotion going through me at that time, and I see it there.
And I'm
awesome.
I'm a pleaser, so trophies are a pain.
Yeah.
You know, and you won a lot of trophies.
Man, that's what you see there is just a few.
Right.
That is great.
And I got your pin on the lapel there too.
Yeah,
so.
and I saw that. Yeah, the war horse.
Yeah.
You told me you was going to add that in.
Yeah, so you
that's
get
great.
the school represented. You know, Louisiana has such a rich history in sports anyway. When you go from the local high school coaching area to somebody who's been famous on a national stage, the only thing that you can really tie together with those is the kind of work that they put in to get that kind of greatness. The time and the effort that each and every one of them puts in to get the greatness that they've achieved is something that's obviously going to be in common.
Brown does a fantastic job for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame every year. Now on Thursday, we had our welcome reception. We presented by LeCap Federal Credit Union. We had the press conference, and you saw some of the interactions with the Hall of Famers and Chris Brown prior to all of those festivities. But Peyton Manning was not able to attend till Friday. He flew in on Friday and then took place with all the other festivities that happened on Friday and Saturday in Natchitoches. So we had a little private tour with Peyton Manning as he experienced the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame on Friday for the very first time. Take a look.
First class is probably the first reaction. I mean, and you recognize some of the NFL greats that have played, Doug Williams and Bradshaw and Shaq Harris, Mel Blount. So you're kind of proud to join that fraternity of Louisiana born pro football players, but you're also proud to join Danielle Scott and Les Miles and Coach Cater, all the other inductees that I'm going in with this year, and all the other previous members of the Hall of Fame of all sports. And so they've done a great job capturing the great history of sports in Louisiana, and to be a small part of it, it means a great deal. Oh, that's great.
So we got the
Very
photos,
cool. These are all great.
photos that you wanted. Yeah, remember we talked.
Covers it all there.
Good career, right?
Well, a lot of few stops. So
Pretty amazing, really.
these are great. You need all these?
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
These are great. Those Miles, you got his hat built just right.
Yeah.
That'd be your best work right there. That's
thank
a
you.
good one.
Yeah, all pretty amazing people.
My dad never had a plan for one of his sons, much less two of his sons, to play professional football. And you don't play to try to get into a Hall of Fame. That's not why you play the game. You play, for the old simple cliche to be the best teammate you can be, to help your team win. So I know my dad was real proud to be inducted. I can remember being here that night and being a Mississippi kid that kind of got adopted by New Orleans in the state of Louisiana. Still lives here, is where we were born and raised. So he truly is a Louisiana guy as well. And I feel the same way. I've lived in different places, Tennessee, Indiana, Colorado, but you're only kind of from one home state, and you always carry that with you. So I'm proud to be here tonight.
Well, that was really cool. The town of Natchitoches and the folks in Central Louisiana went wild for the 2019 Hall of Fame class. And I tell you, you think you want to be Peyton Manning. The guy couldn't take 2 steps without somebody wanting a picture or autograph, but he handled it with grace and class all weekend long. We appreciate him. We take a timeout. We come back. We'll show you just a little bit more behind the scenes of the 2019 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough Sports Shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back, everybody. Last few minutes of Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino. Ronnie Rance, we had Buzzy Heidel on earlier talking a little LSU baseball as the hangover effect is in effect for folks walking around a little bit of a daze in South Louisiana as the Tigers lose a super regional at home for the third time since 2012. 2012, 2016, and now 2019. LSU's lost a super regional at home. Once thought to be impossible is now, unfortunately, a little bit commonplace. So we're talking a little Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. We had our 60th annual this past weekend where Les Miles, Roger Cador, Peyton Manning, Danielle Scott, and many others got inducted into the Hall of Fame. It was a fantastic event, 8 events in 3 days, and you saw a lot of it on CST. Well, we're showing you some of the parties and things that went on and a little bit behind the scenes. And one of the cool, fun events, we had our second annual Celebrity Bowling Bash. It was an 80s Celebrity Bowling Bash presented by BOM, and we played a little 80s music. It took place in Alexandria last Friday during the day. And our own Jacob Hester and Richard Dixon over at Guaranty Broadcasting, ESPN in Baton Rouge, were there, did their radio broadcast. They were part of the bowling crew. And here's a little behind the scenes. Take a look at our 80s Retro Celebrity Bowling Bash presented by BOM.
Fun here for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend in Alexandria, Louisiana for some bowling and disco.
Well, for us, it's a really big honor and pleasure to be a sponsor here. We're based out of Natchitoches, and of course, that's where the Hall of Fame Museum is based, next door to our corporate office there in Natchitoches. So proud to be here.
Well, it's a really great honor to be among the inductees by some previous Hall of Famers who are here to enjoy this occasion. So it's a wonderful time. I had a whole bunch of good players who produced for me on and off the field. And to be a Hall of Famer as a coach, you have to have good players and a good team.
This is a stress reliever for sure because I was worked up all week and even weeks prior to coming out to this. I'm very, very honored, very humbled, but very nervous.
It's unbelievable to have all of these people that have been inducted in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame show up. I mean, you've got people from all over the state and even out of the state here, and the bowling alley is full. I mean, you can't ask for any more people. So it's been Ronnie and the Hall of Fame board has done a really good job putting this thing on.
A humongous thing for the community and helping them to build, getting people in there, get them involved in the community, so it's a really good deal.
There's so many people to thank, but the main one is Dr. Robert Kavanaugh, who started me off in officiating just on a very coincidental event. And my mother, my dearly departed mother, who, because my sister and I were bored one summer, found out that there were free tennis lessons. And that truly began my adventure, my life adventure with tennis.
Coach, you coached a lot of baseball games in your life, but how good are you at bowling?
I used to be good when I played it regular. Today I'm really rusty. And I did get one strike, but I threw 3 in the gutter.
Well, it was a lot of fun we had over there in Alexandria. That was our one Alexandria event. The rest of the festivities kind of took place in Natchitoches. Of course, you could watch it on CST. Well, we did a couple of things last year for the first time, and they were big hits, so we brought them back. And, of course, we'll continue to do the annual Celebrity Bowling event. But one of those things that just continues to grow and get bigger and bigger is our Rockin' River Fest, which is free to the public. Took place on Friday before the induction. So this was last Friday, June the 7th. We had the Rockin' River Fest presented by Rapides Regional Medical Center in Alexandria. It took place on the banks of the Cane River in Natchitoches. We had fireworks. We had Rockin' Doopsie in concert. Wayne Toops made a couple special appearances. We had a kids zone. We had over 2,000 folks that came out for it. And then also at the same time as the Rockin' River Fest was going on in the tent next to them, we had our VIP Taste of Tailgating presented by Mid-South Bank, which was more of a paid exclusive event. But we want to show you the Rockin' River Fest in hopes that maybe you'll join us next year when we induct our 61st annual Hall of Fame induction class. Take a look.
Truly a party going on in Natchitoches, Louisiana tonight. A great event for children and family of all ages. We've got live music and all of our Hall of Fame inductees being honored on stage.
Well, Natchitoches is a wonderful community, and it's part of the area of Rapides Regional Medical Center. Takes care of those patients, and so we were proud and honored to be asked to sponsor this event. And it was great the first year, so we had to come back another year.
Night is spectacular, and the whole weekend is fun-filled. But when you have a few quiet moments and can reflect on relationships, it makes it even, to me, a greater honor.
I want to thank all of you for coming out to the second annual Rockin' River Fest presented by Rapides Regional Medical Center. Give yourselves a round of applause for helping support the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
I think it's the best in the history of this 60-year Hall of Fame. I really do. We've got our first rodeo cowboy who's very, very deserving. The winningest basketball coach in the history of high school athletics in Louisiana. Matt Dunnigan, already in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. I can go on and on and on, but all 11 of these Hall of Famers are really special.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So much to me. This event has kind of shaped my life. When my dad was inducted, a lot of people poured into me and said, you should come to NSU, and I kind of brushed them off, and I ended up back here. This was my first event as Miss Louisiana, and now it's one of my last events as Miss Louisiana. So it's really been a big part of my life.
It's a great honor to play for these guys because those are the guys that I grew up watching. You know, Coach Les Miles, Peyton Manning from New Orleans, him, his father, his brother. So when they asked me to do this, there was no way I could say no, and I got a chance to meet and see a whole lot of them that I've met before, but it's just good to perform for them.
Well, I mean, it's just run so smoothly, and wow, I mean, Peyton Manning, Les Miles, and the rest of some amazing individuals. So, I mean, it's just getting bigger and better. We're so excited to be part of it, and just can't wait to see what happens next year.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, a little LSU baseball on this week's show. Have a great week, everybody.